2093 in the name of Jenni Minto on importance of community defibrillators. This debate will be concluded without any questions being put. Would those members who wish to contribute to the debate please press the request to speak buttons now or as soon as possible. Place an R in the chat function. And I call on Jenni Minto to open the debate for around 7 minutes. Ms Minto.
Okay. Thank you, Presiding Officer. My dear friend Carl Reevy died of an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest in January 2018. He was 61. Carl was a force of nature, and his sudden, shocking death impacted on the many people who had the great fortune to know him. This debate is in Carl's memory and in those of all who have lost loved ones as a result of cardiac arrest, but also as a recognition of communities across Scotland, including within my own constituency of Argyll and Bute, who have raised funds, completed training and helped save lives through the installation of defibrillators. I would like to thank all the members from across the Chamber who have supported this motion. We are in the privileged position of being able to help raise the awareness of the work that the British Heart Foundation is doing alongside the Scottish Ambulance Service, NHS Scotland and Microsoft in establishing the Circuit, Scotland's first network of defibrillators. I never met my maternal grandfather. He died of an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest in 1964. Back then, there was only a vague understanding of the processes underlying heart disease. Doctors couldn't do much but simply let nature take its course. Since then, the Scottish death rate from heart and circulatory diseases has declined by more than 3/4. But for out-of-hospital cardiac arrests, and there are about 3,200 in Scotland every year, the survival rate is only 10%. Starkly, every minute without CPR and defibrillation reduces the chance of survival by 10%. The Scottish Government out-of-hospital cardiac arrest strategy aims for 20% of cardiac arrests to have a defibrillator applied before the ambulance arrives. And with research suggesting this means a defibrillator every 200 metres in urban areas and one for every 1,000 people in rural areas, this is quite a target to reach. Cairndhu, around the head of Loch Fyne in Argyll and Bute, has 3 community defibrillators, 2 community-funded and 1 by a local business. Last year, one was deployed when a visitor fell ill in a remote part of the community. The response was exceptional. The British Heart Foundation had provided 2 basic life support training sessions in the Cairndhu Village Hall. The first person on the scene had attended this training and commenced manual CPR, whilst directing someone else to get to the nearest defibrillator and raise the alarm. The air ambulance, an ambulance crew and police all attended. The community defibrillator was applied before the services arrived. This was a community response made possible by British Heart Foundation training, locally funded defibrillators and good community awareness. The next day, the defibrillator pads were replaced by private community donations to keep the defibrillator in service. Without individuals donating or communities fundraising, the defibrillators will not be there, and so the Scottish Government's target may be difficult to achieve. My motion notes that more could be done. Here are 2 suggestions. I'm sure there are a lot more. By using building planning, could new developments be mandated to put in a defibrillator cabinet? And then, following on from my question at last week's budget, could the Scottish Government campaign for a VAT removal or a reduction on defibrillators? I started by remembering Carl Reevy. Carl's life was action-packed. He was a sound engineer with the undertones, a bird watcher, a photographer, an editor, a hotelier, a promoter of whisky, a cyclist. He was a son, a brother, a husband, a father, a friend. Carl's smile and laughter lit up the room, but an electrical malfunction in his heart forced life from him. Jan, his wife, was alone with him when it happened. She dialed 999. She administered CPR, being told not to stop until the ambulance arrived. She couldn't leave him. No one knew to get the village defibrillator. Registering your community defibrillator on the circuit might help in circumstances like this. So please, please do it. Presiding Officer, I will finish with the words on the memorial for Carl in the community woodland that he and I worked together to establish. A lover of nature, by nature good-natured, by nature a friend, a lover of a dram, naturally, by nature a thinker, by nature a doer, a force of nature. I simply ask on behalf of Jan that we lose no more forces of nature simply because a defibrillator is not registered on the circuit. Thank you.